So one of the biggest gatekeepers in the anime convention circuit did a huge cell phone yesterday while trying to own MIGNOGNA. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover how they throw out a hatred toward black people on accident, how they try to salvage this, and how it works as a win for MIGNOGNA. So hey there. Now today before beginning, this is our second comic book. It has 8 days and change left, and the link is in the description. This is the way we maintain sponsor-free living. We can talk about what we want. We can put out a good product to challenge the mainstream. We can make crazies feel even crazier because they can't shut it down. And we can make a good product to boot. More on that at the end of the video, and thanks for checking that out in advance. So the guy we're talking about today, Dave Henkin, he's the guy that runs San Japan. Now, you may not recognize the name, and that's okay, but behind the scenes, this is a heavy influencer, everything convention related. In fact, he helps, from what I understand, gatekeep the actions of many conventions. He's gone after specific ones because they've invited MIGNOGNA along, and you can see what he thinks about MIGNOGNA fans through this statement. Now, you'll notice another thing about this statement. It has 2 whole likes, and the reason for that is because this guy decided to a following of 108 people that he would go out, he would virtue flex, he would showcase exactly what he's made of. Now, you'll notice this account here, it no longer bears the name that you're going to see. He changed that so people couldn't find him. He also changed everything about him here in the description so nobody, again, would be able to know who he is. The only thing that he kept the same is his ad. Now, the most hilarious thing about this, too, is the lockdown symbol on that. Why? Because this means that people that follow him and that he follows back could see this. So one of those people, one of the 100 chosen plus, yeah, they decided to leak it because it looks so bad. Why? Because, well, in my opinion, I think it's aimed at black people, and I'll tell you why as we get through this. So we got tagged asking why we don't bring out people of color in industry. I'll tell you why. We get tagged and constantly requested to book sexual predators and popular a-hole divas. That's what people want to throw their money. Show up by the hundreds with cash to see people of color, then I'll book them. Now, when you think about anime conventions, what are we talking about here? We're not talking about white people in this, maybe white voice actors, for the American audience, but we're talking about something that is non-white. So when he's discussing people of color not making money in this, he can't be talking about people that are, say, Asian. He has to be talking about people that are black. That's where he has to be going with this. So he's saying that black people, they don't sell. If you want to make them sell, well then, show up with all that money and he'll book them. But until then, it's a no-go. Then he continues on, saying there's a convention in Waco who specifically focuses on people of color fandom industry, ran by people of color staff, but they don't get the love that they deserve. So he's telling you again here that black people, they just don't sell. So San Japan, they don't plan to bring in the black people at all. The reason that I say that too is when you look at the guest list for San Japan, these are previous guest lists. You'll notice Japanese industry, and you have quite a few people that are listed here, as well as overseas music acts. Now, as far as the other thing that we were talking about, well, here are pictures of the convention guests that they have. If you click convention guests on it, you'll notice what, seems to be missing, at least by and large. You'll notice an absence of most things, like I say, we'll say a certain skin tone. That tells me people of color probably means one specific demographic. Now, what's beautiful about this is the spin to it, the way the guy tries to sell it. And you can see this in this article. San Japan leader calls himself an idiot after tweeting why he doesn't book the POC industry. Now, what's interesting about this, too, is this guy, he sells himself as hugely progressive. That's how he goes and punishes conventions that bring on MIGNOGNA, gatekeeps MIGNOGNA out, and really gatekeeps the industry. He does it through buzzwords, and you saw all of the stuff that he threw out in those 2 tweets. So here, the article, like I said, it's a lot of fun, too. We're going to look at this here. So San Japan organizer Dave Henkin is apologizing and calling himself an idiot after controversial tweets he made from his private account on Thursday surfaced. Responding to criticism over the lack of diversity among panelists and talent for the local annual anime event, Henkin tweeted, "We get tagged and constantly requested to book sexual predators and popular a-hole divas. That's what people want to throw their money. Show up by the hundreds with cash to see people of color, then I'll book them." In a follow-up tweet, Henkin directed fans to a convention in Waco that, quote-unquote, specifically focuses on POC fandom industry. Now, if you direct your attention back to that statement once again, you'll notice that that last sentence that they threw in there, that was very friendly spin. Why do I say that? Well, because if you look at this, sure, he says, hey, we're going to focus on that. But the reason we're focusing on that convention in Waco isn't because we want to focus on it and say people can go there. He's using it as an example, saying that this kind of stuff doesn't sell. Therefore, I'm not going to book people that are associated with that. I mean, this, like I said, friendly spin versus the reality of what the guy stated. Now, the article continues here by talking about the timing of this. And yeah, what a screw up indeed. Henkin's tweet comes during a time of heightened racial tensions after the death of George Floyd, who died last week in Minnesota police custody. And that's right. I mean, it is one of the worst time things, especially for a person like this guy who goes out, he wants to adopt a progressive mindset, only to truly tell you how he represents when the proverbial chips are down. Says a lot about that person, doesn't it? Now, although protected from public view, screenshots of the tweet began circulating online. Like I said, somebody following him here, and that he chose to follow back, yeah, they decided to leak it. This is a vivid example of soft-ism, one person tweeted in response. You can live a non-ist life, but still serve an ist agenda by bending to it. You can claim it's the only way to be successful in your environment, but what kind of success is it when you compromise away your soul? Yeah, you don't have to make compromise like that, period. And the idea that black people don't sell, what a ridiculous statement to put out there. And again, I stand by that statement. This guy, he cannot be talking about Asians. He can't be talking about people from Japan. He has to be talking about, well, you know who he's throwing in there. Now, my favorite part about all of this is the damage control portion. You know, first of all, they note, well, he took ownership of the private posts in a public statement hours later. Yeah, because he had to. Someone, again, leaked that. And, well, he wasn't expecting to have that stuff thrown back in his face. He notes, I am an idiot, that's for sure. I was trying to express frustration with the difficulty of marketing POC guests to large sections of the fandom that request the same milquetoast celebrities that are already at every other show. So here, instead of taking ownership with something, he decides that he's going to throw the fans under the bus. It's your fault this stuff is happening. Man, don't you want to go to San Japan? Really selling that. Then he continues, I realize I speak from a position of privilege as a white man and vow to be a better ally in the future. I'm sorry. This, since he loves working in the milquetoast portion there, yeah, this is the same milquetoast reply that we hear every time one of these people is caught doing something that truly showcases what kind of an ist they are. Privilege as a white man, okay? Going to be a better ally. I'm sorry that I got caught. Got there. Some asked Henkin to be a better ally of the black community and to donate to organizations like BLM. It will be put into major consideration when circling back and fielding this. Henkin replied, of course, you're going to have to come off some money there. And it's really funny because this guy, he's been trying to outdo Anime Matsuri for the longest time by trying to bury Anime Matsuri. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to work out very good. He then apologized again when reached by email saying, I am trying to be better and is working to include more diversity. As of Friday, black panelists have not been included for this event. So you can see this statement here too. My comments were expressing exasperation over the lack of demand for POC guests, while the same non-POC guests get requested. I poorly phrased my frustration, and I take ownership of that. I am already in conversation with booking agents to expand diversity of guests at the convention and listening to feedback to understand how I can better serve our fandom community. The convention will be making an official announcement this weekend about further actions. So now he's going to consider inviting those black guests, because, again, he got caught expressing why he wouldn't do that in the past or right now. These are your gatekeepers, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people that wanted to keep out of Vic Mignogna by throwing him under the bus. They wanted to keep out certain people in the fandom because, hey, they're undesirables, and apparently those undesirables, well, they extend to black people. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this stuff. And let me conclude by saying this is our second comic book, another case for the littlest umbrella. We are on 8 days and change. There is a link in the description. This is 40 pages of all ages, Lovecraftian goodness, full color here. Plenty of ways to choose from to back this. We're almost to 1,160 backers, and we could definitely use your help. This is the way that we avoid the gatekeepers out there. We go directly to you. We use no sponsorship while we're running channels and on. This is the thing that keeps us running. We tell the crazies you can't tell us what to do, and we create a good product doing it. Like I said, want to back that, help us out. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it, and appreciate you being here too. You always definitely are appreciated. I can't say that enough. And well, we'll see you next time. Thank you.